Hello, my name is Sarah Dinwoodie and I will be presenting Deliciously Green, the Need for Sustainable Agriculture. The topic of my research project is sustainability in the food industry, focusing on the need to shift from industrial to sustainable agriculture practices. During this presentation, I will discuss specific problems within the food industry, introduce industrial agriculture, discuss the challenges of providing a stable food supply for the future, and present sustainable alternatives to conventional agriculture practices. Then I will continue with a comparison of 6 sustainable parameters as they relate to crop production. Agriculture is the backbone of society. It controls the variety of food available and is the primary food source for approximately 70% of the world's poor population. In 2009, the number of malnourished people in the world rose to 1 billion, and this statistic is expected to rise significantly by the year 2050. So a major concern is food scarcity. Increasing population and climate change put a strain on food availability by impacting the ability to grow certain products, as well as the supply of natural resources. The amount of light and water a plant is exposed to is controlled by the weather. As a result of this connection, climate change has a significant impact on food production. The modern-day agriculture system depends on natural resources such as fossil fuels, water, and topsoil, but it consumes these resources at unsustainable rates. Industrial agriculture also contributes to other environmental problems such as air pollution, water contamination, and depletion of soil nutrients. As society has become more technologically advanced, food production has become increasingly more complicated, integrating more chemicals and processes. Exposure to pesticides and fertilizers has been linked to higher risks of cancer, endocrine disruption, reproductive disorders, resulting in over 10,000 deaths and millions of poisonings per year. Soil, land, water, and energy are all needed for food production, but the rate that industrial agriculture consumes these natural resources is not sustainable. Wind, water, and agriculture contribute to soil erosion, and it can take between 20 and 1,000 years to generate 1 centimeter of soil. Soil is a quintessential example of how if agriculture methods are not adjusted, there is no way to sustain the natural resources necessary for food production. Industrial agriculture strips land of its nutrients, leaving it degraded and in a state of desertification. The amount of land still viable for growing crops is steadily declining. Specific industrialized practices such as overcultivation, overgrazing, deforestation, and overuse of water lead to desertification of the soil, making it unable to sustain growth. There are 2 main ways agriculture affects the availability of water resources. The first is through the use of surface waters or wells for irrigating fields. The second is through polluting available water sources, making them unsuitable for use. The EPA estimates that agriculture uses approximately 2/3 of the world's water supply. Energy is another essential resource. Agriculture uses energy in the form of fossil fuels to run the machinery that helps with planting, tilling, harvesting, as well as processing, packaging, and transporting of food products. To put it in perspective, the food production industry is responsible for approximately 17% of the U.S.'s fossil fuel consumption. Sustainable agriculture is a dynamic system that can adapt and evolve to meet the future needs and challenges presented by climate change. Unlike industrial agriculture, sustainable agriculture integrates environmental and human health, social order, and economic stability, while working to preserve and conserve natural resources. Sustainable agriculture does not have one concrete definition. It is an integration of systems working towards a similar goal, to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The 3 main goals of sustainable agriculture are environmental health, economic profitability, and social and economic equity. The first step of creating a sustainable agriculture system is to evaluate what the goals of the farm are. These are usually based on the family's needs and income goals. Once the target goals are established, there are choices to be made about target markets, natural resource consumption, and business operations. Next, a crop rotation system needs to be developed such that it maximizes productivity, profitability, and ecological stability. I compared 6 parameters of agriculture, including productivity, land use, soil loss, water use, energy use, and greenhouse gas emissions, over a variety of crops, including corn, cotton, wheat, and soybeans. My analysis focuses on how these parameters have changed over a 20-year period. In the 20-year period, significant positive changes occurred in the area of sustainable corn production. Corn production increased productivity by 41% while using land 37% more efficiently. Simultaneously, soil loss, water and energy use, and emission production were all decreased. During the 20-year period, positive changes also occurred in sustainable cotton production. Cotton production increased productivity by 31% while using land 25% more efficiently. Soil loss, water and energy use, and emission production were all decreased. Overall, the results of cotton do not show as drastic of a positive change compared to corn. Wheat production showed slightly less consistent results with no significant change in water use, an increase in emissions production, and small adjustments to productivity and land use efficiency. Wheat production increased productivity by 19% while using land 17% more efficiently, noticeably less than the improvements made in both corn and cotton. Positive changes occurred in all areas of sustainable soybean production. Soybean production increased in productivity by 29% while using land 26% more efficiently. Simultaneously, soil loss, water and energy use, and emission production were all decreased. The most noticeable change was a 65% decrease in energy usage. Over the last few decades, significant improvements have been made in production efficiency and the use of natural resources. Between 1930 and today, farmers have been able to increase their production 5-fold while using 20% less land. Farming techniques are being improved in a way that encourages encourages sustainability. For example, a reduction in plowing has reduced soil erosion, carbon emissions, and did so using approximately 60% less energy. A change to a sustainable agriculture system demands focusing on more than just yield and profit. Sustainability means a balance between economic productivity, environmental and public health, and social order. I recommend that more research is done on the benefits of organic agriculture because its main focus is environmental stability, and therefore it could be a model for the development of a universal, sustainable agriculture system. Thanks for listening.